Bring in Glenn Alexander Crowther. He's a senior fellow at the Center for European Policy Analysis. He joins me live from Boston. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. I mean, see, if you look at the peace plan, there haven't been any major changes in terms of what Ukraine wants. And one thing that really stood out for me is Ukraine's insistence on being a member of NATO in the future. Keeping that ambition is still in place. Certainly, Russia is going to say no to this.
Absolutely, Russia's going to say no to this. Russia hasn't changed their demands since February of 2022, Ukraine not being in NATO is a major demand that they have. The Russians are very scared of NATO and what they can do. It's no surprise that the Ukrainians want to be in NATO. It's the same reason that the Poles and the Balts and everybody else in Eastern Europe wanted to. My friends in all these countries all said when they came in, Russia is down, but they're not out, and they're going to come back. And so they all managed to get into NATO. And the Russians discovered that all you have to do is occupy a square meter of your neighbor, and they can't get into NATO, which prevented Moldova and Georgia from going in. So, that's the Russians aren't changing. The Ukrainians are trying to give at the negotiating table because they know Donald Trump is demanding some sort of action.
Right. So, as you said, Russians are not going to accept this plan. They're not changing. And it seems to me Ukraine has pretty much adapted the same stance that it has been talking about over the past few years. So this proposal by President Zelenskyy, was it done to put more pressure on Russia? And if so, what this pressure is going to do about possible peace?
I think it's more getting Trump to put less pressure on Zelenskyy than it is to put pressure on Putin, because literally at this point only President Trump can pressure Putin. So Zelensky's trying desperately to prevent the United States and Russia from making a bilateral deal that would be favorable to Russia and not favorable to Ukraine. We can hope that President Trump takes these offers from Zelenskyy in the spirit that they are made, the spirit of negotiation, and have him put more pressure on Putin. The thing is, this is actually a very rational approach. The new Zelenskyy plan, where you have each side backs off from the line of contact. It's very similar to what we have in Korea, where when they signed the armistice, everybody retreated 2 kilometers. So there's a 4-kilometer wide demilitarized zone there. So Zelensky's looking for more of that, whereas Putin is demanding that Zelenskyy pull entirely out of Donetsk, which would be very bad for Ukraine, not only for giving up the territory, but they have an extremely well fortified belt across northern Donetsk, which is keeping the Russians out, and he definitely doesn't want to give that up.
You know, Glenn, what I struggle finding an answer to is what can Donald Trump do different about President Putin? He has tried being nice to the Russian president. He has tried being tough with the Russian president. And it seems to me both the strategies did not work. So what can he do this time around?
Well, he certainly has tried being nice, and he's half-heartedly tried being tough with Putin. There's a lot more tough to be done out there. He could ratchet up the pressure, especially on the Russian industry. The economy is in a very vulnerable position right now. The transportation companies are going bankrupt left and right. A lot of pressure on the ruble. And so if Trump really, really wanted to pressure Putin to come to the table, he could do it.
Fascinating insights. Glenn Alexander Crowther, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.
Thank you, Jaffer.